the floor where they drop like bombs. Faceless voices running all the cons. Digital whispers in the binary night. No light, no face, pure sound, no sight. Stories unfold in the dark unscrolled. Echoes of silence, secrets untold. Waves crash loud in this audio cave. No mic, no fame, just the sound we crave. Tune and turn up, let the silence break. Raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just a vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. In shadows, voices untamed. No need for spotlight, no claim to fame. Just a beat of life in a stream of thought. Every word a punchline, no need to be taught. Just listen close, no visuals needed. Raw conversation, unprocessed, unseated. Feel the pulse in every sentence said. No distractions, just thoughts in your head. Whispers of the streets, rumbling through. Faceless yet vivid, a world in view. No mic, just souls, connecting in flow. Pure and raw, let the rhythm go.
While some of us may know than others about certain things, it is the thinnest slice of all that is, or could be known. In that sense, we are all profoundly ignorant. Charles Osgood. Charles E. Osgood was a highly influential American psychologist primarily known for developing the semantic differential, a widely used technique for measuring the connotative meaning of words and concepts across cultures. He was a pioneer in the field of psycholinguistics, contributing significantly to our understanding of the relationship between language, cognition, and behavior. Charles E. Osgood was born Charles Egerton Osgood on November 20, 1916, in Somerville, Massachusetts. His early life was marked by his parents' divorce when he was 6 years old, which he described as contributing to an unhappy childhood. However, a significant turning point occurred when his aunt gave him a copy of Roget's Thesaurus at the age of 10, sparking a lifelong fascination with words and their meanings. He went on to earn his Bachelor of Arts degree from Dartmouth College in 1939. In the same year, he married Cynthia Luella Thornton. Osgood then pursued his graduate studies at Yale University, where he completed his Ph.D. in psychology in 1945. During his time at Yale, he worked as an instructor and collaborated with notable figures in psychology, though he credited Clark Hull as having the greatest influence on his decision to pursue a career in research rather than clinical practice. His early career included work for the U.S. Office of Scientific Research and Development and a period as an assistant professor at the University of Connecticut before he joined the University of Illinois in 1949, where he would spend the majority of his distinguished career. Charles E. Osgood's professional journey truly took flight at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, where he arrived in 1949 and remained a pivotal figure for decades. His dedication and pioneering spirit led him to become a professor of communications and psychology in 1952, marking the beginning of a highly prolific period. 1952, The Nature and Measurement of Meaning. This article, published in the Psychological Bulletin, laid much of the theoretical groundwork for the semantic differential technique that Osgood would later fully develop. 1953, Method and Theory in Experimental Psychology. This comprehensive textbook served as a foundational resource for students and researchers in experimental psychology. 1954, Psycholinguistics, a survey of theory and research problems as editor. This landmark publication, which Osgood edited with Thomas A. Sebiok, is often credited with formally establishing psycholinguistics as a distinct academic discipline. 1955, The Principle of Congruity in the Prediction of Attitude Change. With Percy H. Tannenbaum. This highly influential article introduced the principle of congruity, a significant contribution to the study of attitude change. 1957, The Measurement of Meaning with George J. Soucy and Percy H. Tannenbaum. This seminal book is Osgood's most famous work and the definitive exposition of the semantic differential. It meticulously detailed the theoretical underpinnings, methodological procedures, and diverse applications of this technique for quantitatively measuring the connotative, emotional, and associative meanings of words, concepts, and objects. At Illinois, Osgood assumed significant administrative roles that amplified his influence. He directed the Institute of Communications Research from 1957 to 1965, and subsequently the Center for Advanced Study starting in 1965. From 1963 to 1982, he also steered the Center of Comparative Psycholinguistics. These leadership positions were not merely administrative, they provided him with invaluable platforms to conduct groundbreaking interdisciplinary research and cultivate an environment of intellectual inquiry. He actively participated in hiring processes, even arranging interviews for women in psychology during times when the field was less inclusive, demonstrating his commitment to academic excellence and diversity. 1959, Hesitation Phenomena in Spontaneous English Speech. With Howard McClay. This paper delved into the analysis of pauses, filled pauses like and other hesitations in natural speech. 1959, Semantic Space Revisited. In this article, Osgood revisited and further elaborated on the concept of semantic space, which he had introduced in earlier work. 1962, Studies on the Generality of Effective Meaning Systems. While Osgood also published his Grid book in 1962, this article focused specifically on the empirical evidence for the universality of effective meaning systems across different cultures. 1969, The Pollyanna Hypothesis. With Jerry Boucher. This paper introduced and explored the Pollyanna hypothesis, which posits a universal human tendency to use positive words more frequently and diversely than negative words in language. 1971, Commentary on the Semantic Differential and Mediation Theory. In this commentary, Osgood reflected on the relationship between his semantic differential and his broader theoretical framework of mediation theory. 1973, A Cross-Cultural Study of the Effective Meanings of Color. With Francis M. Adams. Extending his work on cross-cultural meaning, this study applied the semantic differential to investigate the effective connotations of colors across diverse cultures. A cornerstone of his later work was the extensive cross-cultural studies of effective meaning. Building upon his invention of the semantic differential, Osgood embarked on ambitious projects to determine if the emotional connotations of words and concepts were universal across different cultures or if they varied significantly. This monumental undertaking involved collecting semantic differential ratings from numerous language groups around the world. The culmination of this exhaustive research was his seminal 1975 publication, Cross-Cultural Universals of Effective Meaning, which provided compelling evidence for both shared and culturally specific patterns in how humans perceive and assign emotional weight to their experiences. This work deeply impacted the fields of psycholinguistics, cultural psychology, and communication studies. Beyond his scholarly pursuits, Osgood was deeply invested in applying psychological insights to pressing global issues. His development of the graduated reciprocation in tension reduction grid strategy stands as a testament to his commitment to peace and conflict resolution. First articulated in his 1962 paper Reciprocal Initiative and further elaborated in his influential book An Alternative to War or Surrender, also from 1962, Grid proposed a practical, step-by-step psychological approach to de-escalating international conflicts, particularly during the heightened tensions of the Cold War. The core idea was that one party could initiate small, verifiable conciliatory steps, signaling a desire for reduced tension. If the other party reciprocated, a cycle of increasing trust and cooperation could be established, gradually unwinding hostility. Osgood's direct involvement in this area was further underscored by his appointment to the Social Science Advisory Board of the U.S. Arms Control and Disarmament Agency from 1964 to 1971. Osgood's immense contributions were recognized with numerous prestigious awards and honors. He received the American Psychological Association's Award for Distinguished Scientific Contributions in 1960 and served as president of the American Psychological Association from 1963 to 1964. His election to the National Academy of Sciences in 1972 solidified his standing among the most distinguished scientists in the United States. While his career was eventually curtailed by health challenges, Charles E. Osgood's legacy as a trailblazing psycholinguist, social psychologist, and advocate for peace continues to profoundly influence these fields. 1977, Objective Indicators of Subjective Culture. This article articulated Osgood's methodology for studying subjective culture, the shared meanings and perceptions within a cultural group using objective and quantitative measures. 1977, Lectures on Language Performance. This book compiled a series of Osgood's lectures, providing a comprehensive overview of his theories on language processing and performance. 1990, Language, Meaning, and Culture, the selected papers of C. E. Osgood with Oliver C. Estson and Diana Whiteson. Published near the end of his life, this collection brought together many of Osgood's most important and influential papers, curated by his colleagues. Charles E. Osgood passed away on September 15, 1991, in Illinois. He was 74 years old at the time of his death. His later years were affected by Korsakoff syndrome, an illness that eventually forced him into complete retirement, though he continued to attempt to engage with his work as much as possible. The Responsibility Poem. There was a most important job that needed to be done, and no reason not to do it, there was absolutely none. But in vital matters such as this, the thing you have to ask is who exactly will it be who'll carry out the task. Anybody could have told you that everybody knew that this was something somebody would surely have to do. Nobody was unwilling, anybody had the ability. But nobody believed that it was their responsibility. It seemed to be a job that anybody could have done, if anybody thought he was supposed to be the one. But since everybody recognized that anybody could, everybody took for granted that somebody would. But nobody told anybody that we are aware of, that he would be in charge of seeing it was taken care of. And nobody took it on himself to follow through, and do what everybody thought that somebody would do. When what everybody needed so did not get done at all, everybody was complaining that somebody dropped the ball. Anybody then could see it was an awful crying shame, and everybody looked around for somebody to blame. Somebody should have done the job. And everybody should have, but in the end nobody did. What anybody could have. References. Sheehy, Noel. 1997. Biographical Dictionary of Psychology. Chapman, Anthony J. Conroy, Wende A. Sheehy, Noel. Chapman, Anthony J. London, Taylor and Francis. ISBN 9781136798856. OCLC 935260140. William, Brewer Winter 1994. Charles Egerton Osgood, 1916–1991. The American Journal of Psychology. 107, 582 to 596. A History of Psychology in Autobiography. Murchison, Carl, 1887 to 1961, Boring, Edwin Garrigues, 1886 to 1968. Worcester, Massachusetts Clark University Press. 1930 ISBN 080-471-4924. OCLC 964288. Staff 2010. Osgood, Charles Edgerton 1916 to 1991. The Corsini Encyclopedia of Psychology. American Cancer Society. P1. doi 10.100029780470479216.corpse0627. ISBN 9780470479216. Reber, Robert W. 2012, Osgood, Charles, in Reber, Robert W. ed. Encyclopedia of the History of Psychological Theories, Springer U.S., pages 746 to 748, doi 10.107978-1-4419-0463-8_259, ISBN 9781441904638. Reynolds, Vanist, Fletcher Jansen, Cecil, Kimberly, Elaine 2014. Encyclopedia of Special Education, a reference for the education of children, adolescents, and adults with disabilities and other exceptional individuals. Hoboken, New Jersey, John Wiley & Sons. ISBN 9780470949405. Hoddeson, Lillian 2004. No Boundaries, University of Illinois Vignettes. Illinois, Board of Trustees of the University of Illinois. Pages 218 to 220. ISBN 0-252-02957-7. Charles E. Osgood. National Academy of Sciences. Retrieved October 28, 2019. Charles E. Osgood Center for Advanced Study in the Behavioral Sciences. cobs.stanford.edu. Retrieved November 19, 2019. Xen, Oliver C. S. Landis, Dan, Xen, Diana Y. 2012, Charles E. Osgood's Continuing Contributions to Intercultural Communication and Far Beyond. International Journal of Intercultural Relations. 36-6, 832 to 842. doi 10.1016j.igintrol.2012.08.011. ISSN 0147 to 1767. Osgood, Charles E. 1971. Commentary on the Semantic Differential and Mediation Theory. Linguistics. 966. doi 10.1515 ling.1971.9.66.88. ISSN 0024-3949. S2 SID 144893813. Adams, Francis M. Osgood, Charles E. 1973. A Cross-Cultural Study of the Effective Meanings of Color. Journal of Cross-Cultural Psychology. 42, 135 to 156. doi 10.1177002202217300400201. ISSN 0022-0221. S2 SID 145582905. Osgood, Charles E. 1977. Objective Indicators of Subjective Culture. Annals of the New York Academy of Sciences. 285 1 issues in Crow, 435 to 450. Bibcode 1977 Nyasa.285.435.0. doi 10.11.j.1749-6632.1977.tb29371.x. ISSN 0077-8923. S2 SID 85653053. Lynn Skold, Sven 1978. Trust Development, The Grid Proposal, and the Effects of Conciliatory Acts on Conflict and Cooperation. Psychological Bulletin. 85-4, 772-793. doi 10.1037-033-2909.85.4.772. ISSN 0033-2909. Osgood, Charles E. 1970. An Alternatives to War or Surrender, 2. Printing. OCLC 4740061660. My Organization Lewin Award, sorted by year before 1979. www.sbssi.org. Retrieved November 19, 2019. John Simon Guggenheim Foundation. Charles E. Osgood. Retrieved November 19, 2019.
Mics on the floor where they drop like bombs. Faceless voices running all the cons. Digital whispers in a binary night. No light, no face, pure sound, no sight. Stories unfold in the dark, unscrolled. Echoes of silence, secrets untold. Waves crash loud in this audio cave. No light, no fame, just the sound we crave. Tune in, turn up, let the silence break. Raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just the vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. Hidden in shadows, voices untamed. No need for spotlight, no claim to fame. Just the beat of life in a stream of thought. Every word a punchline, no need to be taught. Just listen close, no visuals needed. Raw conversation, unprocessed, unseated. Feel the pulse in every sentence said. No distractions, just thoughts in your head. Whispers of the streets, rumbling through. Faceless yet vivid, a world in view. No mic, just souls, connecting in flow. Pure and raw, let the rhythm go. Pure and raw. Pure and raw. Silence break, raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just the vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. Tune in, turn up, let the silence break. Raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just the vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. Pure and raw.
Okay.